This is 40K Today. 40K news that flies higher than any AdMech unit ever, even the new ones with wings.
Hello and welcome to 40K Today. My name is Paul Murphy. Today is Friday, July 24th. I'm feeling great and I hope the same for you. In this episode, we talk about a brand new contest. We also go over some of the brand new miniatures going to be unboxing this weekend for 40K 9th edition in the Indomitus box set. But first, let's get to this week's poll. We've been asking folks on our Facebook page, how does your favorite faction fare after the points changes in new 40K? 68% of you said, great. I can't wait to see some of the army builds that come out of these point changes. In our first segment today, we have John Damaris talking with Reece Robbins.
All right, Reese, welcome back to 40K Today. We have some super exciting news, and I'm just itching to tell it, but I'm going to let you spill the beans. You want to tell people what's going on?
Well, we got another giveaway. The last one was so popular, we decided to do another one, but this time it's going to be bigger and better.
Yeah, this time it's super exciting. We actually have a really, really cool prize. So one of the biggest feedbacks we got on the last one, which was we called it a 40K contest, but you couldn't get like GW 40K models. So this time, the first prize is going to be a $1,500 shopping spree of GW models fulfilled by Frontline Gaming.
Yeah, and you can get whatever you want. Caveat, as long as Games Workshop has it, of course. They've been having some slight supply issues, but anything you want within those very small guidelines. So it's really cool, right? Like you want to start a new army, you can. You want to get something going for 9th edition, add to an existing army, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a lot of other sponsors that have stepped up to help support this, which we'll be focusing on later. But we have Army Painter jumping on, who's going to be giving us some mega paint scents, which are amazing. I think they're like, I don't know, there's like a ton of paints in those things. And it's going to be great to get these new models painted, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get some easy full army paint jobs going, that's what Army Painter specializes in. We do carry the products over at frontlinegaming.org, and their whole system is designed around getting an entire army painted painlessly, quickly, and looking good. So if you do win one of these big prizes, or you just have an army that's been sitting on your shelf like most of us do, Army Painter paints are a great way to get them on the tabletop and looking fresh.
Right. And then once you get your army painted, the one and only Nick Navati himself is pledged 3 months of free Art of War coaching to go with the grand prize winner. So if you get this new army and you want to know how to use it, the Art of War is going to be there to help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've been saying over and over again, whenever we try to acquire a new skill, we don't try and teach ourselves anymore unless it's like something totally unrelated to anything that we want to achieve quickly. We hire a consultant. And I think that's the best advice we could give to any of you that want to up your game, especially now that the edition's rolling over. It's a fresh slate. Everyone's kind of starting in the same place, and you can get up to speed really quickly. And if you go out, you do well, you win some events, you could start getting some prizes. And very quickly, it starts paying for itself, or even more than paying for itself. If it's free, obviously, all you need is one model, and it's more than paid for itself. But you could very easily start building up a stack of prizes in your den, your hobby room, your room, wherever you may keep that stuff.
Yep, and just a couple other note. The other sponsor we have is Nils over at Minotaur Gaming, and they do one of the coolest. I'm going to call it an AR app.
Yeah, it's a reality. Yeah.
Yep, and they have a big announcement that he's going to be on next week to talk about some ways that the app is changing, and it's pretty exciting news. So we're excited to tell you guys about that. We'll just tease out a little bit. So you might be thinking to yourself, John, Reese, okay, you had me at $1,500 shopping spree. How do I win it? And it's really easy. You just go to 40kprizes.com and enter your email address. That's it.
Yeah, it couldn't be simpler. And then you get additional entries for taking really simple steps like liking a Facebook page, signing up following somebody on Twitter, or visiting someone's website, or looking for a hidden code in a podcast, listening to one of the FLGN podcasts. So there's lots of ways to win, super simple, and you can earn more and more entries into the lottery, so to speak. and increase your odds of winning something cool.
Yeah, and I mean, we have other prizes besides the big grand prize that we talked about. The other thing that's really cool is every day we will be adding new ways to win to the contest. And one of the entries you can get is just by logging into the contest software every day, you get another entry. So you're going to want to log in early to get those extra chances to win that really cool army, or whatever. I guess you don't have to build a whole army out of it. You could mix and match and buy whatever you want, right, Reese?
Yeah. Exactly. You can get whatever you want, and it's super easy to participate. It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see who wins this time. We had a ton of winners last time, and it was really exciting.
Yeah. Also, just as a positive, I forgot about this. Chapter Tactics is sponsoring, with that first place winner, a solo, I think, painted by the Frontline Gaming Network Studios. So you can have a solo completely painted up in the paint scheme if they'll work with you to get the paint scheme that you want. And we have a Ketchikan Kernel, right?
Yep.
Model that's going to be in there.
We sure do.
So,
and those are highly prized, hard to get after, or hard to find, excuse me, and quite a cool prize.
Absolutely. So hopefully you guys all go sign up, and I wish you all the best of luck. And I'm kind of bummed that, and so are everybody that does these podcasts with us, because none of us are eligible to win. So it's the price of putting on the contest, I guess.
Yeah, it is a bummer that we can't participate in such a fun contest. It's so easy to get involved with, but oh well, we get to watch somebody else have the enjoyment of winning.
Oh, and I should note, for you international customers, this contest is open worldwide and anyone can win. Now, we've got a budget for the shipping, and if you exceed that budget, we might ask you for a little bit of help in getting the prizes to you. But, that will be determined based on who wins. So,
Yeah, and that's only if the shipping is, crazy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right, Reese, thanks for helping us get the word out. And all of you can go to 40kprizes.com to enter the contest. It will open at midnight Central Standard Time on the 25th, which is the day that 9th edition drops. It's our 9th edition celebration contest. We wish you all the best of luck.
Good luck.
Reese and John, thanks a lot. Enter to win. This contest is going to be amazing.
Today's episode of 40K Today is brought to you by Frontline Gaming. Frontline Gaming is a one-stop shop for all your Warhammer hobby needs, discounted products, American-made gaming mats and terrain, and a full line of miniatures painting service and daily hobby content. And this can all be found at frontlinegaming.org.
In our next segment, we have Steve Joel sitting down with Paul Murphy. Hey, that's weird. He's got the same name I do. Let's see what they got to say.
Let's start with the Necrons. I know you've had a chance to have a look through it and even start building some stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Building and painting, yes, been very fortunate and got the opportunity to do that, and these are amazing models.
Yeah, look, the Necrons, having run a Necron army previously, I'm a bit devastated that I sold my Crons. These guys are so exciting now. The models themselves look so cool, and you've got some new guys that can do some cool stuff. What are you most excited about from the Necron half of this box?
Well, if you are a Necron player, there's very little redundancy in your collection for what comes in the box. I mean, right now you got the Overlord, but the Overlord does come with a Tachyon arrow, which is a piece of war gear equipment, and then you got the Scarabs. And those may be the only overlap because although this comes with warriors, there are new weapons for the warriors. Mm. And so even if you have enough warriors, you can equip them with this new armament. And even if you are just going with the same old the Gauss Flayer that they have?
Yeah.
They've replaced the filament part with just now molded plastic. There's no more plastic rods, so you could refresh that for yourself, even if you are going with the standard armament. But everything else in there is new. Like there are some really compelling, interesting, I think, builds that can come out of this because they've got even more close combat stuff. So you could really change the dynamic of maybe how your army was built before with these really flashy looking new models and build an assault-based theme if you wanted to.
And they've got some great rules for just buffs, right? They've got characters that can provide buffs to units that you've got.
Yeah, but I think you're going to put something like the Scorpath Lord in your army immediately.
Yeah.
He's no slouch in combat. He's also got some shooting, and he also buffs your destroyers. And I think destroyers are going to still be pretty dominant. And then you're right to point out, I think, the support units that the Necrons are getting. So you're really going to the profile of the army is going to change. It won't just be warrior level stuff with flight bases from destroyers behind it. You're going to see some variation in the way the Army looks, and then specifically the models out of this box set, the Indomitus box set. They're basically all brand new. I mean, it's going to be something interesting to do for you. If you're a Necron player, you should be really, really excited. Or I hope since they should be, I hope you're really excited.
Oh, man. Well, you've got
that variation.
You've got to be. And we don't want to go too far down, the problem with Necrons being their variation with, D6 times D6 with the big guns on the big boats and things. But this will solve some of the lack of combat and the lack of buffs and that sort of thing that Necron players have had to struggle with. Let's deal with the other side of the box. Sorry, go ahead.
No, say Necrons have their very own Primaris Marine now, Lieutenant. Lieutenant model in the form of the Royal Warden. Again, you've got some really cool options.
So let's go to the other side of the box, because I know Necrons are very exciting, but if it's in the States and Europe, anything like it's playing out here in New Zealand, just going on people ordering the box and then immediately wanting to sell the half they don't need, there are more Necrons for sale than there are Marines for sale. So there are a lot of people wanting this box just for the Marines. And let's talk about some of the units in there. And can we start with the bikes? These bikes look incredible, and I immediately want them for my Space Wolf army.
Yeah, the Outriders, I think the Outrider bikes have the most to offer anything that's assault-based, because they've got the mobility, they've got giant bases, they got a heck of a lot of attacks, and they've got a little bit of firepower to get through what will be the new screening in 40K 9th. They are amazingly awesome, but I think just the coolness of that everyone likes Marines on bikes or 40K figures on bikes, but the Eradicators are incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, will ultimately be one of the chase units for a lot of chapters out there, is the Eradicators.
So this is something we've heard a lot of talk about. For people that haven't had a chance to, really look into it, what do Eradicators do? Who are they? How do you fit them in?
They're a 3-man squad that are all carrying what are essentially melta cannons. They got a 24-inch melta rifle, and then they get to basically shoot twice if they're picking out a single target. So anything that they fire at is going to be melted, and to great success.
Yeah. I know that Tau players with their fusion were a little bit bummed about the fact that we always thought Tau players have the best, melter style weapon in the game. Not anymore. No, not anymore. These guys are amazing.
Yeah, so there's, if you're a Marine player, there's a little bit of redundancy with the chaplain and the captain and even the lieutenant. But they do, of course, the variation of the model is great. The chaplain looks awesome. He's almost kind of like a throwback to one of the Legacy Marine chaplains. But the Primaris captain comes with the awesome relic shield, different weaponry. They look amazing. The lieutenant as well, and then the Blade Guard. There's been a lot of talk about the Blade Guard because they're a durable, tough unit, and with the new terrain rules, I think you're going to be able to maneuver them and position them and get them into some interesting situations. But the new troop unit in this, the Primaris Assault Intercessors, I think people are going to get a lot of use out of them. I'm a big fan of the Impulsor. If anybody's listened to the FTN show, they know I talk about Impulsors a lot. This is even more of a reason to stick the Impulsors in your list, because you've got these new Assault Intercessors. They're going to be able to really get up the field and dig into things. Yeah,
look, I'm excited about those as well. From a Space Wolf point of view, you can make them veterans, give them extra attacks, get them in those Impulsors, get them up the field fast. I want to touch on the Blade Guard a little bit, because I'm curious how you see them fitting in. If you've got an army already that has, say, Terminators in it, where do these guys fit in terms of a battlefield role?
Battlefield role, it is somewhat similar, but they have the benefit of a smaller footprint. So I think where you're going to want to be in this, at least in the early days of this edition, is smaller units.
Right.
And these guys fit right in there, but they've also got a bunch of wounds. I mean, 3 wounds with the Storm Shield, 3+ save. they can fit inside of transports. I mean, I know the Terminators can too, but they have a specific, set of transports that they can fit in. I guess Primaris do as well. And then with the benefit of reserves, I mean, you're going to be able to spend some CPs and bring these guys on in different areas of the game. So as far as filling a role, I think that they'll really benefit from that smaller footprint in the early days while we're trying to figure out how the missions work and what the real optimized units are. But come on, man, they look cool.
They look
That's why
cool.
you're going to put them in your army.
And we want to go right back to the beginning of this, the rule of cool.
We haven't spoken about the Judicar. The Judicar is brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely brand new figure. And his ability to make a unit fight last, not fight last if it charged. That's not like last to the first or whatever. It makes somebody absolutely fight last. And so having that figure in your army is going to even further maximize every other assault choice that you're taking, even if that's just a counter assault type thing. And so you're talking about taking Terminators. Yeah, take Terminators. Terminators are going to be pretty good. Take the Blade Guard, take the bikes, take the assault intercessors. Even if you don't have a super killy assault unit, this Judicar can make assault units, even mediocre or middle of the road assault units, even better because of this ability. And again, the model is amazing. So this is you're going to be really pleased with the box.
Paul, thanks, mate. It's really, really good to talk to you. Thanks for your time. And roll on 9th. We can't wait for the weekend. We pick up that box, we get our rule books, and we get started playing this game.
Man, have a great rest of your night and a great weekend.
Whoa, that was me. Thanks, me. Thanks, Steve. What a week it's been. And you know what time it is. It is time for that model of the day.
It's the model of the day. The model of the day. The model of the day.
Today's model comes to us from Turbidius. This is a throwback to Battlefleet Gothic. This is Abaddon, one of his pride and joys, the planet killer in all her glory. You can find him on Instagram. You know, these are not large models, and the fact he's been able to find all this detail and put some really captivating reds and that energy source in the middle that looks remarkably like a Chaos Star is absolutely amazing. This thing, I believe it, killing planets and killing my heart. Thanks for sharing it with us. If you want your model featured on this segment on Instagram, use hashtag 40K today. That is what Turbidius did, and the same thing can happen to you. And that's it for today. A huge thank you for joining us. Also, a big thanks goes out to Alex Bainter, Tanya Gates, and Seamus Ronan for all the hard work that they do behind the scenes. My name is Paul Murphy, signing off for John Damaris and Steve Joel. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow for the Best of the Week episode. And then once again, come back next Monday to find out what's happening in 40K today.